By default, it's going to bring over whatever we were looking at previously. So in this case, it's Netflix stock. We're looking at a 1-day time horizon with a 5-minute interval. But if you want to change that and look at the last week, for example, we would click on that, and that's going to bring up 1 week of data. Now the 5-minute interval is a little too tight here, so we're also going to want to change this, and we're going to change this over to the 4-hour interval. That's actually going to be too few at that point, so let's drop it over now to the 30 minutes. So at this point, it reflects exactly what we put in, but let's say you want to put in a trend line, for example. What you would do is click on the line tool up here, and these are all of the different lines that you can add. And again, a lot of these are advanced, but for a basic trend line, we're going to click here on that. And now you can start adding these drawings to your chart. Now, I am not anybody who is considered an expert or even an amateur in technical stock analysis. It's not something that I do. I know some of the basics, but don't look at this as any kind of trading advice or anything like that. Watch a full video on technical stock analysis. We're going to click here to add the beginning of our trend line, and then let's just say we're going to move it all the way over to here and see where we have a couple of points of contact. So let's say we're going to put the trend line right about there. If you double click now, we have our trend line that we've added. So for example, we're seeing that Netflix stock has bounced here off that trend line a couple of times and seems to be continuing on a trend somewhere around this. Now what's cool is once you add a trend line, you can do the same double finger zoom in and zoom out and look at a tighter view or a zoomed out view. And then the other thing I want to show you here as well is how to add indicators. Once you're done with the drawings, you should click on done here to close that out. But let's say you also wanted to add, for example, a RSI or SMA. We're going to click up here and let's just turn on once again our default view, the 14-day RSI and 50-day simple moving average. But let's say, for example, we want to make this the 200-day SMA. We can now adjust that. And then coming back to our chart, we can actually see how that 200-day simple moving average has been a support here at this point in time where the stock bounced off of that. And you can also see our trend line here, which caused some consolidation to take place here, and then we did have a breakout. Now let's say, for example, you want to add a rectangle. You can click up here and add a rectangle, and then just like before, you would click over a section and then you would drag it over like that and release, and then you would click once again and it's going to create that rectangle for you, and then you can click on done. And just like before, you can zoom in and zoom out and create your drawings. And then if you wanted to also, for example, record notes, you can click here and add a text box. So for example, if you wanted to add something here and call this detail for later, something that you want to look at, you can add a text box and do all sorts of notes, drawings, etc. on the chart and add and remove indicators and even change the chart type as you please here. But let's say you want to have a nice clean look once again, you would click here on the gear and wrench where it says more, and then click on delete either Netflix drawings or you could delete all drawings. So we're going to click on delete all drawings and it's going to bring us back here to just the indicators being on and nothing that we added on the screen.